Back at the bus, back at it again with another episode, or this time I should say season review of Black Mirror.
I feel like the last couple of seasons of Black Mirror have gone for more existential messaging. You know what I'm saying? More societal, as opposed to direct, like, personal conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if that's necessarily what everybody else is picking up, but it's definitely not my cup of tea. Because I don't feel like that was necessarily Black Mirror's role. I don't feel like that was how they entered into the conversation. When I remember some of the most standout Black Mirror episodes, I think of the ones that kind of kept us isolated in the situation. They weren't extrapolating to societal issues necessarily that big. You know, they kind of touch on it in all of the episodes, but not to the degree that is going on here in this one. I felt like the AI focus in this season was very heavy, super heavy, and I didn't know if it needed to encompass every single episode of this season, especially when you're only given a 6.
Well, you know, my thought of it is there was an AI heavy influence. I think there was also a VR heavy influence as well. You know, a lot of people obviously tapping into systems and things like that to that point where it's kind of like virtual reality. I think what's caused that is that a lot of those things are closer now than what they were when we first started watching Black Mirror.
Yeah, but also they weren't really trying to stake a flag. This one feels like pro AI propaganda to a certain degree. Like, there was a little bit in there that was, you know, a cautionary tale. I think about the first episode with Rashida Jones. Most of it felt like humanizing content for AI. I think about Paul Giamatti's episode, right, where he's reliving his life experiences, with his long lost love, and having to being able to fill in gaps in understanding, you know, being able to somewhat relitigate the issues and see what went wrong where, and
seeing it outside of his own perspective.
But also they're kind of showing you that this is a process that character is able to go through that otherwise wouldn't have been possible without this technology. And so again, it forces you to grapple with the question of whether or not that is worth allowing a self-learning, self-adapting computer algorithm into your deepest, most personal receptors of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Your most coveted memories, your most painful memories.
Yeah.
How far are you willing to bleed this computer into your life? Right? Like, how far does this go? Does this replace therapy? I don't think that man needed a therapist. He needed that. He needed the AI robot. Or at least after he got the AI robot, he didn't need any more mental assistance. It seems like he completely forgoed talking through any of this stuff that he went through for years, which is extremely, you know, detrimental in itself, but then found solace in technology. I don't know, again, that could just be my interpretation of how they set it up, but that's what I took from it, is that this individual sat around and loathed for, you know, decades, only for the only thing that to be able to bring him solace about his situation is the comfort of an AI program.
The only thing that I would say, and it probably was a little bit in how they set it up, is that I don't think he was even really thinking about said relationship until obviously the announcement that she passed, and then because of that, he was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go through some memories. And then that started bringing extra perspective into some of those situations and how it shaped his life going forward.
I think the fact that the avatar for her was just a representation of the actual individual that sent him that program, you know, that is so freaky.
Very freaky.
That is so freaky. that they could take bits and pieces of information about you and a light synopsis of how you would like the interaction to go and recreate you, right? That should scare the shit out of any of you because of how much data farming goes on with these apps already. Even companies that aren't necessarily marketed to sell data are running these weirdo schemes to collect your data just to sell it to other people who want to do more nefarious things with it. The fact that they can recreate a VR likeness of you based off of the information that they probably already have should scare the shit out of y'all.
I think that comes up in multiple episodes. The last episode it came up in the fact that it wasn't an AI copy, it was actual DNA, but bro took DNA from like coffee cups and shit and made clones of these
everybody
people.
Yeah,
and put them in a video game,
and it wasn't them, but it was them.
Like shit like that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the tech is going to get insane, and I think that's what makes Black Mirror so.
But that is a reason to have caution.
Oh, sure.
Not to tell love stories about how a human can fall in love with an AI. That it feels irresponsible to me. Like it feels like a glorification of.
We're talking about the Issa Rae episode.
Yeah, it feels like a glorification of what is supposed to be a tool now being used to fill gaps in human loneliness or lack of human interaction. When you start to understand how, like, I heard somebody talking about this the other day, that people don't really miss college. When you say you miss college, you just really miss the fact that you were able to commute within a half a mile of your house and never have to get in a car. That all of your social interactions that you had while you were in college could cost you anywhere from $0 to $100, right? The way that they build campuses, college campuses, are meant to promote interaction, to promote community, to promote people working with each other. That is not how society has built our lives. Society has built our lives to drive on these long ass highways to our jobs to essentially tax us to get to and from, whether it be by gas or actual toll roads or what have you. So the idea that society has now set up for us to have these permanent social gaps that now that same ruling class is going to fill with artificial intelligence, and now we're sitting up here watching TV shows about how you can fall in love with an AI. Hell no. We got enough of that already. We got enough sex dolls and OnlyFans and all that. None of that is helping human interaction as it is. Not helping dating. Doesn't help you gain a partner. It's not making you more sexually experienced. It's actually having the exact opposite reaction. Yeah. So like more glorification of that unification between technology and humans for sexual gratification is not necessarily what we need.
But you don't think that they addressed the ethics of it at all?
More so on what it would do to the human individual, not so much on what it means to have to create a relationship with something that's not real, with a tool that will eventually be sentient, right? Like that's what happened in that episode. She treated it like a tool until that tool became sentient, and then she fell in love with it.
I mean, that's also actually already happening in real life. People are falling in love with chatbots.
Okay, that's destructive to society. It's
Sure.
absolutely destructive to society. If we can't mate, that means we can't perpetuate ourselves. That means we go extinct. If people start dating programs, we die. Like as a human race. Now, if y'all want to sign up for that, I guess I'll make sure that my lineage is the sacred monks that pass down actual human interaction and real sex to the generations of humans to come in the past. So y'all do what y'all want to do. But it feels very destructive, and it felt like a lot of the narratives that were set by these 6 episodes kind of lent to that, right? An encouragement even to not fear AI, but to ingratiate yourself to it.
But I do think I'm referring. So you're referring more so to the third episode.
I'm applying to all of them. All of them dealt with AI in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like there were 2 episodes where you can directly point to as a cautionary tale. That's Rashida Jones' episode, and the last one with the, where he was
McAllister.
Put him in the McAllister.
Yeah.
Right? The rest of them were telling pseudo love stories.
Well, not number 2 either. The girl who was being able to change things with the little button she had. And so she was basically gaslighting everybody.
Yeah. She was able to make okay. So
that didn't even address what we're talking about here. Really. It didn't really touch AI so much as it touched.
I don't know if it was necessarily artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But she definitely told a bunch of bullied people around the world that technology can help you get your get back.
Sure.
And then she also, in the same turn, told the popular ruling class of them all that they can get in on it too. It wasn't, again, now what I will say about that episode is that one was more of a return to form of them not planting a flag on who was right and who was wrong. I felt like that one leveled out to where you could see it from both perspectives. You could see it from the black chicks who, she made the rumors up about the girl, but that was like years ago, and why should I still have to deal with that now? Like I've moved on. Yeah. And then from her side, it's like, well, you do me wrong. Yeah, how am I supposed to know you became a different person? That don't mean nothing to me. I still have to deal with the repercussions of what you did. At the same time,
aside, I hated how that episode ended.
But it's still right. Like, so she's very obviously creating chaos, leaving all type of destruction in her wake. She gets the opportunity to end it all, and then she steps into her shoes and does the same shit. Right. So that in itself, the fact that both of them used that technology to their gain does glorify the technology. Now, you're right in that it wasn't necessarily AI, right? But the I guess the kind of mind opening towards different avenues of technology, I think in this season was what really stuck out to me a lot. And I did kind of take an issue to the over humanization of the AI aspect of it all. I think that part of it, when we stop viewing AI as a tool and start allowing it to be self-perpetuating, is when we're talking about something completely different. You're no longer talking about something to be used. You're talking about another species. And so in that way, we're really not having these conversations about using AI to love, or using AI to fill in technology gaps, or using AI to improve our mental health. You make AI sentient. AI is its own thing. It's a living, breathing thing. Well, not breathing, not breathing, but it's real enough. So now, are we enslaving AI? Do y'all really want to go down this rabbit hole? We make it sentient just to work for us indefinitely? Like, where's the moral high ground in that? I just feel like there's more depth to these conversations than what was being presented.
There's definitely more depth, I think, when we're talking about an episode of a TV show that's trying to tell a story. Also, it's hard to take both sides of an issue when you're trying to tell a linear story.
They were doing pretty good on it. Well, yeah, that's the problem, is the linear narrative.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're going to be that plain and simple about things, it gets very hard not to have a moral person and an amoral person. Right. That's what conflict is built on most of the time. So
I think, at least as it pertains to this season, you're right. I think I do think a maybe 3 to 4 of these episodes leaned all one way. And so I think that's where you're like, well, I didn't like the fact that it all leaned AI friendly, I guess, in this case. Whereas I've seen some seasons, or well, I guess most seasons, lean like, hey, this tech is coming, watch your ass.
And so, like, I think that's why it felt so different to me.
Yeah.
Is because this felt more like they were trying to calm everybody's horses about AI, as opposed to hey, listen, we're all going to be out of jobs pretty soon.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think Hollywood should be carrying water for big tech in this regard.
I will grant you that that's fair. They definitely lean more friendly than they have in the past. I think the reason why I liked the season so much is because instead of it, I think there's only been a couple of episodes within the last few seasons that have even somewhat felt real and gave me that actual fear. So I think of Striking Vipers with your homeboy, and then I think of the episode with homeboy from Breaking Bad that was coming down.
Aaron Paul.
Was switching. Aaron Paul. I think of those two episodes as evidence of times where I was like, oh shit, like this is some crazy ass shit and it could happen. And so I looked at episode 1. The fact that ads were coming out of her mouth, if my wife is, not even my wife, if any girl I go to bed with, right as I kiss her goodnight, starts spewing out an ad for fucking bathwater soap.
Yo, what did you say?
I'm going nuts. Like that shit, like, again, it's not so much fear, it's not horror. It's just like, oh my God, this could actually happen. This is real, because these companies are stopping at nothing to advertise to me. When will they start to use my significant other?
When they put the chips in their heads.
You know what I mean?
When they start putting chips in people's heads.
Yeah. The Issa Rae episode to me kind of felt more like that Miley Cyrus episode. It was almost like, we're going to make a love story here. Kind of like how they made a Disney Channel movie with the Miley Cyrus episode. I thought it was okay. I was kind of happy with the fact that it was Issa Rae, but I wasn't necessarily in love with the episode. But yeah, I feel like the rest of the season, for the most part, spoke to me at some level about what's coming with tech.
You know what I think that the Issa Rae episode was? I think that for the production, they probably saw it as a cautionary tale for introducing AI into film production. Mm-hmm. They probably thought that they were doing something very savvy about AI and film production, and what they actually ended up doing was humanizing AI human relations.
Sure,
is what it felt like.
Sure,
there was much more attention paid to that part of the episode than there ever was whether or not Issa was gonna get out of there safe. Like, once she just got into a groove of saying her lines, and they couldn't give a fuck about her being hooked up to that thing anymore until it went down, and then it was like, oh shit, what's going on? And she got stuck in there. So like, where they started, I don't think is necessarily where they ended. They probably started on, hey, this is, let us do our thing. Stop trying to introduce AI into our filmmaking processes to save money. And this is like an extreme kind of result of it. And to what they ended up doing was, hey, feeling lonely? Try some AI companionship.
That's fair. Realistically, that tech was garbage. Why do we only have one shot at this entire thing? And why does it take something being spilled on it to lock Issa Rae into this AI world? I just thought that was nuts. I think some of those things took me out of it, and I didn't really care as much after that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think they were heading somewhere, and then they diverted course to tell this love story. They couldn't stop at giving Issa Rae a chance to be a lesbian. In this shit. But not for nothing, a lot of black women in this season.
Yeah.
Rashida Jones, Tracee Ellis Ross, Issa Rae, the black girl in the second episode. Yep. I don't know what her name is, but she played the hell out of that part. And I didn't realize in the first, well, obviously I didn't, because I didn't have any tie to Cristin Milioti. But I didn't realize she was in the first USS Callister episode.
I thought she was.
I didn't realize I had seen this girl before.
Because she's blown up here last year. So yeah. Yep.
So shout out to her. She did an amazing job yet again.
Yep.
And I thought that was a pretty good episode. I think that's pretty much all the episodes. So
yeah, that was a good season. Kinda, sorta. Could have been better.
I liked it. I liked it as a return to form for the show. Now the slants I could have probably lived without, but I was just happy to receive a Black Mirror season that I recognize.
I also hope that we don't have to wait another 5-6 years to get another season.
Same.
However long it was.
But writer strike, pandemic, Bandersnatch.
Boo. Who cares? Give us your thoughts on this season of Black Mirror. Put it in the prompt below. Like, share, and subscribe. Try to get some more of these out to you. I think next up will be Forever.
Yes, Forever. So make sure, like you said, you subscribe. Check out some of the other TV reviews and movie reviews that we've done. And like I said, make sure you subscribe for more. Peace.